Welcome back to our channel, where the eerie and spine-chilling tales of the unknown come to life. In this hair-raising video experience, we invite you to venture into the dark corners of your imagination as we spin tales that will send shivers down your spine and keep you on the edge of your seat. Whether you're a dedicated horror enthusiast or simply seeking a thrill, prepare to immerse yourself in a world of suspense, supernatural mysteries, and bone-chilling encounters. Join us as we delve into the depths of fear and embark on a journey that will leave you questioning the boundaries of reality. So, dim the lights, settle in, and get ready to scare yourself into a sleepless night. The Carnival of Lost Souls. It had been decades since the carnival had last seen the flicker of life. Tattered posters, once filled with vibrant colours and promises of joy, now clung to rusting gates, a testament to the passage of time. The people of the nearby town whispered tales of the Carnival of Lost Souls, a place cursed by its own malevolence. They spoke of restless spirits that wandered the grounds, seeking redemption, but finding only despair. On a moonless night when the wind howled like a mournful banshee, a peculiar sound echoed through the desolation, the eerie calliope music of an antique carousel. The sound seemed to materialize from thin air, luring the curious and the adventurous. A group of friends, led by the audacious Sophie, decided to investigate the source of the ghostly serenade. The Carnival's entrance was more decrepit than they had imagined. The iron gates creaked open as if welcoming them to a world forgotten by time. The moment their feet touched the cobblestone path, the gates slammed shut with an ominous finality. Panic washed over them, and they struggled in vain to push them open. Sophie, however, remained unfazed. "It's just a rusty old gate," she said, trying to conceal her unease. "We'll find another way out when we're done exploring." The carnival grounds were bathed in a ghastly pale light, and the air was thick with a sinister atmosphere. Decaying booths and rides stood as somber sentinels, waiting for new victims to wander into their grasp. The group could hear faint whispers carried on the wind, murmurs of lost souls crying out for salvation. They approached the carousel, its rusted frame seeming to groan with age. The calliope music intensified, and it became impossible to resist its pull. Sophie, Mark, Lisa, and Alex climbed onto the ornate wooden horses. With a tortured screech, the carousel came to life, spinning faster and faster. Their laughter turned to screams as the world around them blurred into a dizzying nightmare. The horses beneath them twisted and contorted into grotesque shapes. The carnival's once dilapidated rides roared to life, flashing their neon colours with malevolent intent. They were trapped in a nightmare funhouse of horrors. As the carousel spun, Sophie reached out to grasp the brass pole at the centre, hoping to steady herself. Her fingers brushed against a cold, clammy hand, the hand of a spectral figure. She recoiled in terror, her eyes locking onto the lifeless eyes of the ghostly apparition. It was a young girl, her face etched with sorrow. "Help me," the ghostly girl whispered, her voice barely audible over the chaotic cacophony of the carnival. "I've been trapped here for so long." Sophie's heart pounded as she tried to pull away, but the carousel refused to release her. The girl's grip tightened, and her face contorted into a ghastly mask of despair. Sophie's screams joined the chorus of torment echoing through the carnival. Meanwhile, the others faced their own horrors. Mark was trapped inside a mirrored maze, each reflection showing a different version of himself, each more malevolent than the last. Lisa wandered into a carnival game booth where sinister clowns with blood-red smiles hurled knives at her. Alex found himself on a roller coaster that plunged into a dark abyss, only to emerge in a nightmarish underworld of writhing, tormented souls. Hours turned to days, and the group was lost within the Carnival of Lost Souls. They had become part of its twisted, eternal nightmare, their faces etched with fear and despair. Sophie's strength waned as she continued to struggle against the ghostly girl's grip. "I'll help you," Sophie whispered, tears streaming down her face. "I promise." The girl's eyes filled with hope, and for a moment, her spectral form seemed to waver. But then, the carousel spun faster, and the girl's grip tightened once more. As the days stretched into weeks, the carnival's malevolent grip tightened around the friends. They became hollow-eyed, their laughter replaced with cries of anguish. They were no longer themselves, but mere shadows of the people they had once been. Then, one day, the carousel finally came to a stop. The carnival's lights flickered and dimmed, and the calliope music fell silent. The ghostly girl released her grip on Sophie, her expression one of profound sadness. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice fading into the darkness. "You gave me hope." Sophie stumbled off the carousel, her friends following suit, each of them bearing the scars of their nightmarish ordeal. The carnival, it seemed, had grown tired of their torment, and with a final mournful wail, it released them from its clutches. They stumbled out of the carnival grounds, their minds forever scarred by the horrors they had witnessed. The gates swung open, revealing the moonlight and the path that led back to the town. The Carnival of Lost Souls disappeared once more into the annals of legend, leaving behind only whispers and nightmares. The friends would carry the memories of their harrowing experience for the rest of their lives, a constant reminder of the price of curiosity and the darkness that could lurk in the most innocent of places. The time loop terror. John Collins had always been a man of routine. He woke up at the same time every day, followed the same schedule, and rarely ventured outside his comfort zone. But on a fateful Wednesday morning, his life took a terrifying turn. As John got out of bed and started his usual morning routine, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The clock on the wall seemed to be stuck, its second hand frozen in place. He checked his phone, only to find that it displayed the same time, 7:15 a.m. Panic set in as John realized that time had stopped, and he was trapped in a never-ending loop. He went about his day, trying to break the monotony, but it was as if the universe itself conspired to keep him in this never-ending cycle. Breakfast, work, lunch, and every conversation with friends and family played out exactly the same way, down to the smallest detail. Days turned into weeks, and John grew increasingly desperate. He tried everything he could think of to escape the time loop. He smashed his clock, shattered his phone, and even attempted to take his own life. But each time, he would wake up in bed at 7:15 a.m. unharmed and trapped once more. With each iteration, John's desperation turned to madness. He became obsessed with unraveling the mystery of his predicament. He scribbled notes, dissected every conversation, and searched for any clue that might lead to his salvation. He also noticed a disturbing pattern. Each day, as he went about his routine, he would hear whispers in the background, just out of earshot. At first, he dismissed them as a byproduct of his deteriorating mental state. But as the days turned into months, the whispers grew louder, more distinct. One evening, as John sat in his dimly lit living room, he heard the whispers once more. This time he concentrated, trying to make out the words. The voices seemed to be chanting something in a language he couldn't understand. It sent shivers down his spine. Determined to find the source of the voices, John followed their eerie chorus. It led him to the attic, a place he had rarely ventured before. He climbed the creaky stairs and pushed open the door. Inside, he found a room filled with dusty old books and strange symbols scrawled on the walls. In the center of the room was a worn-out leather-bound tome. As he opened the book, John realized that it contained ancient incantations and rituals, and he couldn't help but feel that it held the key to his predicament. He read through the pages, each word sending a chill down his spine. The rituals were dark and forbidden, promising unimaginable power in exchange for a terrible price. John had nothing left to lose. He decided to perform one of the rituals, hoping it would break the time loop that had ensnared him for so long. The ritual required him to chant the incantation while holding a blood-soaked dagger over a burning candle. As he completed the chant, the room around him seemed to warp and shift. Reality itself twisted and contorted, and for a brief moment, he felt like he was on the verge of escaping the never-ending loop. But then, something went horribly wrong. The room filled with a deafening roar, and John felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Shadows crawled along the walls, and a monstrous, otherworldly presence materialized before him. It was a grotesque, nightmarish creature with multiple eyes and tentacles that reached out toward him. John realized too late that he had unleashed something far more terrifying than the time loop. The creature's hideous form seemed to mock him, and he knew he was powerless against it. It whispered dark secrets into his mind, secrets that shattered his sanity. The room closed in around him, and John's consciousness was consumed by the darkness. He was trapped in an eternal nightmare, reliving the same horrifying events over and over, with each iteration leading to a deeper understanding of the disturbing truth. That some secrets were never meant to be uncovered, and some horrors were better left undisturbed. The Curse of the Family Portrait. In the grand ancestral mansion of the Sturbridge family, a portrait hung upon the wall that harboured a chilling secret. The Sturbridges were a wealthy and illustrious lineage, known for their opulent lifestyle and lavish parties. But beneath their facade of prosperity lay a dark and twisted curse that had plagued them for generations. The portrait depicted a family gathering from over a century ago, the faces of the Sturbridges frozen in time, their eyes hauntingly lifelike. The patriarch, Lord Edmund Sturbridge, stood tall at the centre, his stern countenance casting a shadow over the room. His wife, Lady Isabella, held their infant son, Thomas, in her arms. Surrounding them were their other children, forever trapped in the frame: Annabel, a delicate girl of 16, and Arthur, the mischievous 12-year-old. The legend of the curse began with a bitter dispute over the family fortune. Lord Edmund had amassed immense wealth, and his descendants became consumed by greed and jealousy. As the story went, anyone who attempted to destroy the family portrait would age rapidly, their flesh withering and bones turning to dust. The curse was believed to have claimed the lives of many Sturbridges who had dared to defy it. Yet the mansion's current heir, Frederick Sturbridge, had grown weary of the legends. He had seen generations of his family meet gruesome ends, and he decided it was time to break the curse once and for all. One moonless night, as a storm raged outside, Frederick summoned his family to the dimly lit room where the portrait hung. He believed that if he could shatter the cursed relic, he would free his family from its malevolent grip. With determination in his eyes, Frederick raised a heavy bronze candlestick and struck the portrait with all his might. The glass shattered, and the portrait fell to the floor in a cascade of broken shards. Frederick watched in horror as the faces in the painting contorted in agony, their eyes reflecting an eternity of pain. But as Frederick stared at the ruined painting, he felt an intense burning sensation in his chest. His skin wrinkled and sagged, his hair turned brittle and grey, and his bones seemed to crack under the weight of his body. He stumbled backward, realizing that he had become the latest victim of the curse. Frederick's screams echoed through the mansion, but they went unanswered. His family watched in terror as he aged rapidly before their eyes, his body becoming a withered husk. Within minutes, Frederick Sturbridge had met the gruesome fate that had befallen so many of his ancestors. The rest of the Sturbridge family fled the room in horror, vowing never to defy the curse again. They locked the shattered portrait in a hidden chamber deep within the mansion, hoping to bury the dark secret forever. Years passed and the mansion fell into disrepair, the Sturbridge name and fortune dwindling. The mansion became a place of dread and superstition, avoided by all but the bravest souls. The curse was still whispered about in hushed tones, a warning to those who dared to enter the mansion's cursed halls. Then, one fateful night, a group of thrill-seekers decided to explore the infamous Sturbridge mansion. Armed with flashlights and courage, they entered the decaying mansion, determined to uncover its secrets. As they ventured deeper into the mansion, they stumbled upon the hidden chamber containing the shattered portrait. Ignorant of the curse that had claimed so many lives, one of the adventurers reached out and touched a shard of glass from the ruined portrait. Immediately, their skin began to wrinkle, their hair turned grey, and their voice grew feeble. The others watched in terror as their companion aged before their eyes, the curse's grip tightening with each passing moment. Realizing the horrifying truth, they fled the mansion, leaving their cursed friend behind. The curse of the family portrait endured, claiming new victims over the years, as unsuspecting individuals stumbled upon the mansion and its malevolent secret. The Sturbridge mansion remained a place of dread, a testament to the terrible price of greed and the darkness that could lurk within even the most opulent of families. Thanks for watching. To support us, please like and subscribe.